What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am surrounded by plants because this is obviously going to be a plant video. Now 3 outfit changes later, I actually had recorded these clips a really long time ago, but due to just life being unpredictable and things just happening, I didn't get to roll it out. So I am rolling it out now, and it's just a basic plant care video. I'm not an expert, but I've done my research. When I went to the plant store, as we recently just did, to pick up some new babies, which you kind of see in the shot, they basically give you a booklet on basic plant care. So in these clips, you will see me take care of my pothos plant, my peace lily, my bamboo, and it's just basic care. So let's get started. Now, as you can see, some of my plants are starting to have little brown spots. Oh, that just chipped. My peace lilies, one of my flowers died here. And I have my succulent here starting to brown. And then this guy, I just put him in here to basically just sprout some roots, but I'm actually going to place him back inside the pot. I have some leaves here, some dry spots, and this here. So my bamboo plant is starting to turn yellow, but there's this nice little corner here of greenery. So I'm actually going to save this bamboo plant, and I'll show you how. And I'm going to repot my bamboo plant and this pothos plant right here, and just show my plants some love. So stick around and see how I do that. Over time, the leaves get dusty, and so you saw in the previous clip, I just used a spray bottle with just water and some hydrogen peroxide, sprayed it on the leaves. And right now, I'm actually cleaning out some of the dead leaves. It's very easy, just pull them out. And since this pothos plant usually sits high on my shelf, it actually gets spider webs. So I'm just spraying it and wiping it off with just a basic cloth, and just taking out the dead leaves before I put in the new pot. Another great tip is also to just break up the soil a little bit. You can use your fingers or an actual planting scoop. I'm just using a fork that I don't use. This is also a really great hack to make your pothos plant look very, very full. After you repropagate it, just put it back right into the same pot where you see any bald spots. finished cleaning the leaves, I'm going in and I disinfected my scissors and I'm just cutting off any of the dead leaf ends. If you happen to have trimming shears, now would be the time to use them, but I don't have that tool, so I'm making use of what I got. Now, the last thing we do is this guy. So, this guy is my pothos plant. Now, it has a lot of vines and it's intertwined, so sometimes you gotta detangle it to make sure it grows properly. So the goal is, these were once part of that plant and I cut it out, I soaked it in some water, I waited for the roots to sprout, and then I repotted it. So that is what we're going to do now. Whenever it goes past, it's always good to trim this whenever, let's see if I can re-angle this really quick. Whenever it goes past the base, if you can see, the base of the vase, it's always good to trim it. As you can see, it's touching the floor. So what I'm gonna do now is I am just going to drag this long guy right on here so you can see. I have one pot, quote unquote, filled with water, and I have an extra one right here that's not filled with water, just to place. Now, the last nub actually will not grow anything. Now I can't really zoom in at the moment, but I will try and lift this long guy up for you to see. What you want to do is you want to cut where you see these sprouts, because that is where the root is going to grow from. So you're going to want to cut right at the nibs, right here, right where the sprouts are. And those sprouts are what you're going to soak in water. So let's get to cutting. And this is how you repropagate your pothos plant. See these guys right here, when it's just a plain leaf, it has no nub, this is not gonna grow. So if you put this in the water, it will eventually die. Now I like my hanging plants to actually hang, so I will not be cutting this all the way down to the nubs, meaning all the way down to the base of the planter pot. I guess it's called a pot. I will not be cutting it down to the base of it, but I will be cutting enough so that I can have a good substantial amount of growth. Now half of these, some may not grow, some may die, and that depends on the nub that you have readily available. Like this one may die, and that's because the nub is small. See that little brown dot? Whereas this guy is ripe and ready. Now we're gonna put these guys inside the water. Now actually, normally, if you have something small like this, it's best if you put it inside a small vase so that the water can actually catch the root. So we're just gonna spread these out, put them in here individually. So in one of those clips you saw me repropagate a pothos, and it's this guy right here, still going strong. And my regular pothos is actually on top of my closet. It is in full bloom and very heavy, so I will not be bringing that down. But my succulent here is beautiful, no dead leaves, and actually in the repropagation of the pothos you saw me soak it in water. And let's just pan over here. Let's get a close-up cam. This is what the roots ended up sprouting. So this is what the roots look like. They sprouted very nicely. Now you can choose to keep it in here or opt out and plant it in some soil. I chose to just keep it in here because they're doing so well. I like to keep it by the sink so I can look at some greenery, add some life to my kitchen. And in another one of those shots, you see me basically repropagate, that is such a hard word, repropagate a peace lily. And that was not an easy process. I didn't film the entire process because it was my first time doing it and I needed both hands, and I was alone. So I will be doing the same thing to my big peace lily that's currently in our bedroom that I have not repropagated. But just to show you that what I did actually works, this was one of the baby ones that you saw me take out. I just stuck it in a mason jar. It looks really cute. And then this one was another one that I repropagated. So these are all peace lilies. You can't really see, but there is a bud here that's growing, and that essentially is going to be a lily. I also have, oh, that's heavy, another one right here. So just know that when you do what I did in the video, when you just try to separate it from the roots, it works. They stay alive, they don't die. Don't freak out because it looks like I am basically hurting the plant, because the roots are very stubborn, very strong, and they basically grow intertwined. So that was a painstaking process, but very rewarding. And you also heard me mention, but did not see in the video, the fact that I wanted to fix my dying bamboo plant. I actually did a clip for my job. I will insert a card above, so you can actually go watch that video. It's kind of long, so I couldn't actually insert it into this clip, or else this would be an hour-long video for you guys. But just a little report. These are the roots. Oh, drip. These are the roots. It's still alive, and it's big and beautiful. And then the other ones, which you'll see in the video, I basically just put them into recycled wine jars. I cleaned it, and the beautiful thing about this is because it's tinted, so it kind of protects the roots so that the sun isn't beaming on it. So that's good. And I believe that's it. Random thing that is not in video at all, that I just wanted to show off. I had some garlic in the fridge that was starting to sprout, so I ended up just putting it inside a pot with some soil, and it's only been a week, and look how big this is. So, and that's really it. I have a couple little new guys here that are too new for me to report anything on, but they just look pretty in the shot. Gum in the jungle. We'll see how this works out. Here we go. These are perfect for me. Okay. This is nerve-wracking. That was so easy. Oh my god.
So this is where the process became tedious, because in order for me to actually repropagate this, I had to loosen the soil from the roots and then break the roots apart from each other, as well as try and pull the stalks apart so that I can repot them as single piece lilies. This took me about an hour and a half to separate the roots, wash out the soil from it, and pull it apart without actually breaking the peace lily itself.
So for the peace lily, I know it was time-lapsed. It was really fast, but it was not a fast process. You guys just get the bonus of seeing it fast-forwarded. But basically what I had to do is I had to grab it. I had to grab all the leaves, roots, flowers, and pull it out of the soil. And it grew so much together that it was easy to take out, not easy to take apart. So I had to break up the soil a little bit, and then I was trying to break up the roots, because what you're supposed to do, what they tell you to do in the repropagation peace lily videos, that is a tongue twister, is you're supposed to break up the roots so that you see here where it's separated. So let me turn this around. This looks like it's one. This is actually two plants. So you're supposed to separate these two, right? And then the roots would follow. So let me go to this. Let me go to one that has a lot. Okay, so this one was a small guy at first, but now it's getting big. You can see some of the leaves are kind of, but it's still soft. It could be because of overwatering, maybe too much sun, because these do really, really well with low sunlight. So you see how all of these stems are kind of just, they look like they're all nuzzled together. That's false. So this right here, when you start to pull away at the dirt, you'll start to see the base of where all of these are growing from. So this is actually one, right? And then let's see, I don't want to separate them, so I'm just trying to show you. That's actually one. This center one is another one. You can see once I start to move it that it's conjoined. So basically what I was trying to do with that big one was separate it into a bunch of little babies, which is how I got it to go into like these 3 pots right here. So I was basically trying to separate it so that I can repropagate them and have them grow to be as big as the original one was. It was hard because a lot of the roots were so stuck together. I was scared of breaking them, but they basically tell you in the video that it's okay if some of the roots break. They even advise you to cut some of the roots off so that it has a fresh start to grow better, stronger, cleaner roots. Because after a while, peace lilies need a lot of water, but after a while, if you drown them, the roots will rot. So another tip that I also added in the video for my bamboo plant was if you add a capful of hydrogen peroxide into your water when you're watering your plants, it actually helps kill the bacteria that's growing around the roots. So that's a fun tip. So basically you're just supposed to separate them. Sometimes you do have to pull, sometimes you won't have to. I ended up just going back and forth between the table and the sink because I was trying to let the water run so that it can wash away any of the dirt, so it can loosen up any of the roots, and it was easier to pull apart. So that's a lot. It's a mouthful. It's a lot to basically tell you in this video, but just to give you a nice little quick snippet, I am going to do another video on just the repropagation of peace lily. It's going to take a full video. So if you do want to see that, hit the like button, subscribe because it really helps my channel a lot. And if you leave a comment and say which video you would like me to go in more depth on, I will make a note of that and I'll be rolling that out soon. So thank you for tuning in, and if you watched till the end, yay! I'll see you all in my next video. For more behind the scenes, you can actually follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of stories on cooking, on my nice little herb garden that I'm starting on the side here, and just organization and fun DIY tips. Bye guys!